Alright, in this video, really I'm just going to keep the objectives fairly small. You're going to make a key, and we're going to upload it to the key server, and then just verify that it's on the key server. So here we have a couple key servers. Some of the things to keep in mind with key servers is they may not exist forever. Since the inception of this lab in 2019, a lot of them have gone to the graveyard, notably these two. The only one that's really remaining that seems to respond, and actually has been kicking around now for a good 2 years now, at least from the time I've been doing these labs, has been the one by Ubuntu. And you'll see some keys there that exist long before that key server did, and that's really just because it imports them from previous key servers. Some people could also upload some of their really old keys that they might still be using. You'll see keys of various years that are on there. But the one that we're going to be using is just the Ubuntu one. I know things change. Maybe the MIT one came back up. Don't know. If it did, it might die tomorrow. But yeah, we're just going to use Ubuntu. These are just some of the basic terms and commands that you should know to be successful in doing this lab. I do try to also, go through and explain what some of the differences are. Like some files will actually be in base64. You can use an ASCII viewer, and some are going to be in binary. You could use a binary viewer to take a look at it. But for the most part, if it's stored in binary, it's likely it's encrypted or it's zipped in some way. You can also store keys in binary without encoding them in base64, but base64 is useful because you can also just paste it into an email. So here I'm literally just going to walk through how the command structure should work. I've also provided some screenshots, but some like to see it actually in action. So let's go ahead and do this. To simulate multiple users, literally just going to make multiple users on the same machine. So here I just have the terminal. So I'm just going to go ahead and make the key. I'm just simply logged into this one system as we need be. I will create additional accounts, but so far there is just this one. I'm just going to go ahead and make the key. And we have a few options. The default is the RSA, but there are many other algorithms that are out there. And the default is 3K. In this case, I'm actually just going to accept the default at 3K. And this one's pretty important. This has to do with some etiquette. In our case, I say etiquette because we're just making temporary keys here. Be reasonable. There's not a whole lot left to this particular term. If this were to say at the beginning of the term, maybe 5 weeks would be more than sufficient. But don't set it for years. You're going to create some key plaque. Now, if this was a legitimate key, then you want to ask yourself, like, how long could I potentially have this key? And also, what if you lose the key? You can't revoke it. So how long do you want it to be a thorn in your side if, say, you lose access to this key and you can't revoke it, and then people start continuously emailing you with this particular public key that's long expired. So if you're just starting out, maybe a year's sufficient. You can still continue to use GPG, you just have to make a new key every year. But find that sweet spot that works for you if you decide to use these in production. So I probably wouldn't exceed a year if you were to use it. In this case, for this lab though, we're literally just going to stick to no more than 5 weeks here. Actually, since in my case though, I'm just going to stick to 2 days. If you want, 5 weeks is fine. This just verifies that it should expire in 2 days from now. Alright, just add your name. In my case, I'm logged in as Sharp, so I'll give it my real name. And since this is a demo, I'm just going to put Etiquette demo. And temporary educational key. And the comment is also a pretty good idea. We don't want to be confusing this key with something that is legitimate. Say you get a co-op, and they need to make a GPG key. And you use this one for educational, but you made another one for the company. You don't want people confusing the two keys. This is a fairly explicit. It is a temporary educational key. So people shouldn't be using it after you're done with lab. If you've kept the key, you can also revoke it as well, and then people won't use it. So everything looks good. I'm literally just going to put O for OK. And then you need a passphrase. I can't talk too long because it'll time out and I'll have to redo the whole thing again. So I'm just going to type something out. But this is to protect the private key. So if someone was to steal the private key, you have some time with which before they have to give them some time to brute force attack it. So if they steal it, you have some time to potentially revoke it. It'll buy you that time. Okay, so we have a key. Just going to hit enter a couple times so you can see it a little better. And here we've got a hash of it. So if we were to actually go uploading this and searching it, we'd actually be searching based on this. This is the signature of it, which is really just a hash of it. And this is the sub. So here, if we were to actually look at the signatures, which we'll be doing later on, because you'll be having other people sign your key, you actually have a signature already, and that signature is a self-sign certificate, or self-signing of your own key. So you have the key that you made, and you'll have one signature, which is going to be you signing your own key. But it's the web of trust, so at some point you're going to need to get someone to sign it. So I've generated it. Let's upload it to the Keyserver. Right, now if you are not using, say, something like Putty, so you can copy and paste, or if you happen to be using Linux or a Mac, you could also SSH directly to it. But I would suggest using something you can copy and paste, because copying and pasting that is a lot easier than typing it. I'll see in the doc. So if I switch back to the doc, things have changed. You used to be able to just simply put that small portion there to pick the key. But if you click there and follow it, they changed it. So some explanation there, which is beyond what I'm going to be talking about. But just because of that, though, when we go to send it to the key server, you need to type that whole hash out. So that's why I would make certain you have a terminal that you can copy and paste from. So that's it. We're going to send this key up to the key server. So this is going to be the Ubuntu one. And we want to select this key. Alright, claims it's there. Let's check if it is. There are a few ways you can search. You can search by email, you can search by name. I've uploaded a ton of keys here, so searching by name might not be the easiest way to do it. I'm going to try Steve demo. And the key's there. This is the one we just uploaded. It should be, it's exactly today's date, so I guess the server on here is a little ahead. Yeah, that server's definitely in the future. Okay, so this is our key, but then you'll see that there is a signature. And that is, again, you always self-sign your certificate. If I was to go search some other ones that I've uploaded, you'll see that there'll be that one, plus there should be some others. Yeah, so there's a self-sign, and one other person signed it. If that other person has also uploaded it to this key server, we should be able to see who it is. So that's just another student had signed it. And Chrome stopped responding. Alright, that concludes this exercise, at least this part.